This was me last year in September, 15 kgs heavier, not taking care of what I was putting into my body, saying yes to every plan for the sake of YOLO, having no self-control, constantly batting with my self-image, no confidence whatsoever until what's up? Hello and welcome back to a brand new video. I don't do sit down videos so often, so it's kind of awkward. Not awkward, it's kind of like I do feel nervous a little. So you want to take control and you want to transform yourself, but you're still waiting for 1st January 2025. I feel like it's a very self-destructive thing to postpone everything to starting on 1st of the year or on a Monday. Snap out of it and start working on your goals right now, like right away. Because if you're planning to start working on yourself on 1st of January, trust me, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be way ahead of you, and you'll be like, how does 1st January 2026 sound? Bruh. It's a spiral and you need to snap out of it and take control of your life. Snap out of it, quite literally, snap out of it. So I'm going to start off by saying that winter arc is a real thing. I'll tell you exactly what people think winter arc is and what my personal opinion of winter arc is. So it's a gym bro concept where you wake up at around 5 or 4 a.m. You hit the gym, you have no relationships a year. And a bunch of other rules made by people. But before you get overwhelmed and drop off already, I'm going to tell you what my meaning of the winter arc is and what helped me to start working on my goals exactly this time last year. So around October, there's something different in the air. It's a little chilly, but it also starts getting more peaceful and calmer. And if you're out of your house at around 5:36, it's all dark and you don't see any people. All you see is Gora hai. Just kidding. But you barely see any people early in the morning, and there are no distractions whatsoever except the dogs, but they're not distractions, they're cute as heck. But I feel like that is the kind of mindset you need to have while you enter this winter arc. It's all about you and you working on your goals and actually putting in the effort. So what I mean to say is, it's the same effect you feel when you get into the winter arc. You need to cut off distractions and work on yourself. It's literally you versus you when you enter the winter arc. For me, I was pretty bluffed up. I was around 88 kgs and all I could think about was to lose the damn weight because I was so tired of going into the same loop of like not respecting myself in a way. And I knew that I'm going to take advantage of this winter arc and I'm going to put in real work. Now, I'm not saying you need to break up with your significant other if it's healthy, but the toxic ones you need to. And I'm not saying you need to wake up at the crack of dawn, even though it would be impressive if you do wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. But it's not a necessity. It's a time you lock in and cut off all distractions and really get devoted to yourself. So in this video, I'm going to talk about two things. The first one is going to be mindset, which is basically 90% of the work you need to do. And the second one is action. If the mindset is right, the actions will follow. So let's get into mindset. Before you start working on yourself, you need to ask yourself some questions. What are the 3 goals that you've really been wanting to achieve since a long time? Are you really in it? Are you ready to be obsessed to becoming better? Or it's going to be the same story this time next year, and when you are even deeper in the hole and you're going to be like, you know what, let me start tomorrow. Imagine if you are in a situation, it's an emergency situation, you go to the emergency ward in the hospital and the doctors be like, you know what, let me start working on it tomorrow. That's exactly what you're doing. Your body is telling you to take action, but you're like, you know what, let me work on it tomorrow and we'll see if it survives. You're gonna work on it, and if it doesn't, peace out. No, you can't be that. You really need to start getting obsessed with your goals. You need to start getting obsessed with the future version that you see for yourself and start working now. Like, start putting in the work. So before I started working on myself and actually locked in, my mindset was, I was lazy. I was very lazy. I was lazy and I was scared of failure. I used to tell myself that, oh, I'm gonna start working out from tomorrow. I'm gonna start eating clean from tomorrow. And a lot of times that tomorrow never came. And I got so tired of my bullshit because I used to keep promises to myself, and whenever I was not able to just physically get done with it, my self-confidence dropped. I couldn't just trust myself in any way. I always used to feel that, oh, I'm gonna keep my promise, but at the back of my head I was like, Sana, you know you're not gonna keep it to yourself. You just know you're not gonna get it done with, so Who are you promising and what are you promising for? And it really affected my self-image and even relationships in a way, because I used to feel like if I can't keep the promises that I make to myself, then how can I even expect other people to keep promises they make to me? So once I got that concept right and I started keeping the promises that I made to myself, things started changing. Eventually that tomorrow came because I replaced that tomorrow with today, with right now. Slowly I started getting my life together. I started getting in a workout in, even though I was still fixing my relationship with food and getting rid of my eating disorder, particularly binge eating. But slowly I started educating myself, listening to podcasts, reading books, just gaining knowledge. Next important point, stop fearing failure so much. Everybody fails. I failed a lot of times. I still fail. But that doesn't mean I stop putting in the work. Everybody fails. Some of your biggest inspirations fail all the time. Just because that is not recorded and that's not to say, that doesn't mean they don't fail. Everybody fails and you need to make peace with that. And failing is not a bad thing, man. Come on. Like we are too old for that. You fail, you wake up the next day and you start again. So let's imagine after a night of partying and binge eating, you wake up the next day and you think to yourself that all the effort before that day was a waste. For a minute, let's shift our focus that maybe the goal was losing weight, but all the actions that I did, I was actually building my habits in the process. So you did build some great habits. Just because you effed it up on one day, that doesn't mean that the entire thing or your entire progress to building habits went to waste. Because if you ask someone who has lost a lot of weight, like even more weight than I have, the first basic rule of losing weight is consistency. They have failed a lot of times, I'm pretty sure. They're not going to sit down and sulk with the fact that, oh, I gained a kg. Oh my god, it's not the end of the world. Your first goal should be building habits. And after a lot of days of being in the progress, if you are drinking or if you are having a night out or if you're eating out, it's okay. And that does not mean that you've lost all the progress, because with that mindset that you need to be a perfectionist all the time, you need to be eating healthy, you need to be doing all your workouts every single day, I feel like that is being toxic to yourself and it's actually unhealthy. So yeah, man, it's okay to yeah, but you also better get up the next day and be like, you know what, I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna stop fearing failure. I'm going to look failure in the eye and be like, you know what, I got this. Next up, start saying no. I feel like this is one of the most important aspect that a lot of people don't talk about, but I'm guilty to admit it. But for a major chunk of my life, I was a people pleaser. I used to say yes to parties, yes to night out, yes to eating out, and I did not really introspect that, do I really want to do it? Does it align with my goals? Does my future version would be wanting to do that instead of getting in a good sleep, hitting in a workout the next day? I did not used to think that. For the most part, I have said yes to a lot of plans that I might have or might have not regretted later, but I feel like I could have skipped that plan and worked on myself instead. Now again, I'm not saying that you need to say no to every plan, but you need to create a balance. You need to know what aligns with your goals, how many times you should be having a night out, or you should be eating out, or you should be letting yourself loose. You need to know it, and you need to be brutally honest to yourself on that. Know your limits, know yourself, be brutally honest to yourself, and say no to everything that doesn't align with your goals. That also comes with self-respect. Your self-respect would be much better if you start saying no to things that don't align with the highest version of yourself. Next up, cutting off distractions. Social media, to be precise. Social media is an addiction. Almost everybody starts with like 5 minutes. Let me scroll through this thing for 5 minutes, and then 5 becomes 10, 10 becomes 15, 15 becomes an hour or two, maybe. So one of my favorite YouTubers from all time, OkSanjana, said this in one of his videos, that you are what you consume. You eventually start making the type of content you consume. For example, if you watch cringe content, you might be like, oh, I get the cringe hai. But maybe somewhere in the back of your head, you also start doing cringe shit in your own videos. And that is so true. Or you start doing things that are cringe subconsciously, but that does happen. Everybody talks about social media is this, social media is that, but this is actually the effect that it has on you. You can be all about it that, oh, that is so cringe, but you start doing those kind of things, and that is cringe. I am guilty to admit that I have also been at that spot. I have been addicted to social media, addicted to scrolling through reels, till the point that my brain can't comprehend any more information and it does not want to know what did Mutki eat. If you know, you know. One thing that really helps me is to either delete social media from my phone, but I feel like that's not very appropriate because I do have to post content on Instagram, which I'm very, particular at, but I do make sure to keep that limit on my Instagram app, that it gets to let me know in every 15 minutes that I have exceeded my limit for the day and I really need to switch it off. Or one thing that really helps me is to log off all my accounts, and whenever I open the Instagram app to do mindless scrolling, the first thing I have to do is put in all that information, and for that I don't really remember most of the part. I have to look up what my password were, and that is a tedious job, so I'll just shut the app. That, in my opinion, has helped me retain my energy and be mindful of what I consume and take my 15 minutes of the limit a little seriously. And one thing that social media definitely does, and it's very self-destructive, is comparison. And that comparison leads to self-doubt. For example, I'm scrolling through something and I'm like, oh my god, this person started way after I did, and they have a lot of followers, but I don't. At the end of the day, I know back in my head that everybody has their own journey, but at that very thought, I feel like it's very destructive to think that I'm someone less than or I'm not doing enough, because those are the first thought that comes into your mind when you get into this. So do some mindful scrolling. Stop comparing yourself to people on Instagram. You are your only competition. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So get off your back. Anyways, coming back. For the next 90 days, I want you to set 3 goals that you really want to achieve by the end of 90 days. Make sure they're realistic. Please be realistic. Start saying no to late night parties, night outs, mindless scrolling, ordering unhealthy food, and everything that your future self doesn't reflect. And cut off social media. Trust me, if you are not a content creator or you're not a YouTuber, you don't really need it. And you're not losing out on a lot of things except what Mutki ate or what Ganji Chodail ki story is. So now that we've talked about mindset, let's talk about action. For me personally, my biggest goal was to lose weight, lose fat. And now that I'm 14 kgs lighter, yeah, I'm flexing, but I'm really proud of it. But it has been a total game changer for my self-confidence. People say all the time that self-confidence comes from within. That is 100% true. But it doesn't really come to mind when you look yourself in the mirror and you don't like yourself. Particularly not because of how you look, but the decisions you take in life, the actions you do. And it also ultimately shows. You can preach all the time about discipline and consistency, but if you're not really doing that, it doesn't make sense. And nobody's gonna believe you. Once I decided that I need to lose weight, I need to lose that amount of fat and junk that I've been eating, I need to get rid of all that, I started taking action. I started going to the gym, getting in my steps, moving my body, and I actually just made a crumb of the excuses and threw it out of the window. And I'm not saying that happened all suddenly. That's someday I just woke up and I was like, you know what, from today onwards I'm gonna eat healthy. Yes, that did happen a lot of times. I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna eat so healthy today. But when I started my fitness journey, I was also struggling with binge eating. And I never thought I'd say it, but I'm really proud to say that I don't binge eat anymore. I am truly so proud of myself for breaking that cycle and getting in control of myself instead of letting my brain get in control of me. It's been a journey. There were so many days when I want to just order McDonald's. I still eat McDonald's, but I don't binge eat. I enjoy my treats, but at the same time, I am very mindful about what I put into my body. There were so many days when I just wanted to order McDonald's, binge eat, and also not get a workout in. When you care about someone and they want to do something that is really not going to help them, which is going to make them feel even worse about themselves, and you don't let them do stupid shit no matter what, you have to be that person for yourself. Period. So I used to sit myself down and talk to myself like, look, I know you really want that pizza, I know you really want that burger, but it's not good for your body because ultimately it's going to ruin your sleep, it's going to slow down your digestion, it's going to spike your insulin, and you're going to regret it later. It might feel good in the moment, but it's not going to feel good 30 minutes after you have your meal, or even 10, or just tomorrow. You're going to be like, oh no, I fucked up last night, so I might as well enjoy the rest of the day eating bullshit. You know the cycle. So instead, I used to have either popcorn or yogurt or just drink water and sleep. And that helped. So I'm not saying you don't have to listen to your body or your body's craving pizza. No, sometimes it's your mind. It's your mind telling you that you're craving a burger or pizza, but your body doesn't need it. And I do not promote restricting yourself, but there needs to be some limit. You can have that burger or pizza if you still feel like having it the next day, but just simply giving into your cravings is weak people shit, and you're not weak. It used to be like a switch in my brain, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna have it tomorrow if I'm still craving it. And similarly, when I didn't feel like getting a workout in, I used to again sit with myself and be like, you know what, it's just 1 hour of the workout, let's get ready into our gym clothes, let's start stretching and just do the first exercise. And if you still don't feel like getting in the whole workout, we'll stop. But that rarely happens. Once I'm done with the first workout, I'm like, you know what, let's just get done with, and all the endorphins start kicking in. I'm like, I'm into it, I like it, I regret not getting a workout in. So yeah, that's something that really helped me. So once you know your goals and you know the actions that you need to take to get to that goal, there's literally nothing to do about it but just to do it. Tell your brain to shut the fuck up and get it done. If you really want to get unrecognizable in the next 90 days, work on your body, work on your mindset, educate yourself, get a workout in, get your steps in. Walking is enough. Walking is great in my opinion, both mentally and physically. Read books, listen to podcasts, take care of your skin, drink water, and do everything else that aligns with your goals. Lastly, if there's something I want you to remember from this video, is to stay devoted to yourself. Now, recently I've just shifted the word discipline with devotion, and I'll tell you why. So when you use the word discipline, it can sound a little overwhelming, but devotion to me sounds like a breath of fresh air. When you're devoted to something, there's no left or right. You don't even think twice before doing that. If you believe in God, which I do deeply, every night before bed I pray to God, and like I never miss a day. There's no second questioning about it. It's unsaid. I have to do it. I want to do it. I love to do it. And in the same way, I want you to be devoted to yourself. When you're devoted to yourself, there's no left or right to there are no questions. You have to do the work, you have to put in effort, you have to become the version you promise yourself every single day. You need to get devoted. And honestly, for me, it's so refreshing to think it that way, that instead of being disciplined, I am devoted. I am devoted to getting the work done. So before I end this video, personally, my 3 goals for the next 90 days is to, firstly, I am currently 74 kgs. I have come a long way in my weight loss journey, but the job is still a little undone and I need to shed a little more. Getting my course finished, which you'll know about very, very soon. And the third thing is I need to work on a skill. If you don't know, I am a freelance video editor, and recently I have started learning more about After Effects. If you know, you know. I still kind of suck at it, but I am determined to learn more about it and devote more time towards it. So these were my 3 goals for the next 90 days. So now it's time to figure out your 3 goals and stay devoted to them, and really just lock in. Give your all for the next 90 days and make yourself proud and make me proud. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I helped in some way, and I was probably not ranting on the mic, but it was actually pretty fun recording this sit down video. So anyways, I will see you in the next one. Bye.